I think self-doubt and caregiving really go hand in hand together. Have you recently asked yourself questions like, should I increase my visits? Should I begin cooking for them? Should I go to the doctors for them? Should I help them pay bills? If you are thinking about those things, then you're noticing that something is changed and that they're not necessarily making good decisions, or maybe they're not making decisions at all. And you may be experiencing some self doubt about actually stepping in. And what you're really asking yourself here is, am I overstepping my bounds? So let's think about a couple of things here. Will my loved one be hurt physically or financially if I do not step in? Is your loved one paying the bills on time? Right? Think about that. If your loved one, and this was a big point of contention with my father as well, he hung on to that checkbook. Nobody was going to pay his bills until the time that he had to be in rehab for 2 weeks. He had a hospital stay. That hospital stay might have been about a week itself. And then he was sent to rehab. So the better part of the month had gone by and the bills needed to be paid. And that wasn't something that my mother ever did, right? So I had to step up to help pay the bills. And at that time, luckily, we had power of attorney in place. So I could just, write them and mail them and all of that. But when my father returned from rehab, he wasn't allowing me to, or he wasn't sure about allowing me to continue to write the bills, although it was very convenient. And I could tell that he liked that, but he still wanted to have some control. And so when I would write the checks, he would have to inspect them to make sure that I wrote it correctly and compare it against the bill. And he would check the envelope to make sure I put the address on right. And I allowed him to put the stamp on and lick it, right? See, it's all about that independence as much as it is, you know, helping them. How about this one? Has someone been asking your loved one for money and you feel that you need to stop it? Oh, a lot of thought, self-doubt can come up. You could be thinking, I should stay out of it. Maybe it's a sibling. And you're like, I should stay out of it. I shouldn't have anything to do with it. But ask yourself, will my loved one be financially harmed if I don't step in and say something? And that could just be a conversation between you and the sibling or you and the person who's asking for the money, not necessarily overstepping your bounds. Do you need to help them with laundry because your loved one doesn't have the strength to do it anymore? This was a big point of contention for my mother. She was a housewife most of her life. That laundry was pristine, and that's the way that she did it. She took pride in it. That was her fight for independence, that she didn't want to give up going down the stairs to the basement to do the laundry and stand down there in the damp folding the laundry. Will they be physically harmed if I don't step in? Yeah, they could fall down the steps. I mean, in the end, it was the basement where my mother fell and essentially face planted into the cement wall that sent her into rehab for the last time. And finally, we had to move her to assisted living, right? She wasn't using good judgment and not going down there. I had to step in. Do you have to shut off the gas to the stove because they're leaving it on? Now, newer stoves today have a lot of mechanisms to help that, but still, if the flame is still on, my goodness, right? That's dangerous. You have to take away the car keys. Oh boy, this is a biggie, right? This is a biggie. Inside my membership, we have checklists and guides and tip sheets to help you with these kinds of questions to evaluate if you have to take away the car keys. And a whole lot of people can be talking in your ear saying, hey, if they want to drive, let them drive. And you as a primary caregiver can think, yeah, what happens if he runs into a tree? What happens if he runs into another person? You get to make the decision about that. Not an easy one, but you get to make the decision. Should you stop allowing your loved one to go for walks by themselves? Are they starting to wander? Are you suspecting that they're getting lost on the way home? Or maybe it's just going down the front steps is dangerous for them, or the uneven sidewalks. And maybe you're thinking about bringing in a caregiver to help them some in the afternoon with something like that, or you yourself. So, this is just one of the three guiding questions to help keep us out of self doubt. So, if you can come back and reflect when you are wondering if you're doing the right thing, ask yourself, are the decisions I'm about to make in the best interest of my loved one? And that will help ground you, right? It's that sort of subconscious check to make sure that we don't have judgment of ourselves. The second question to ask yourself is, will my loved one be hurt physically or financially if I do not step in? Okay, and finally, the last one, will I be personally gaining anything as a result of the decision I'm about to make? So these three questions are really asking you if you are noble and honest, right? Are you trustworthy? And do you have integrity to do what's right for your loved one when nobody is looking? So, my question to you is, what doubts do you have? And can we put them up against these three questions? As a partner with you, we can look at caregiving in a lot of different lights and analyze it and sort of be a sounding board and think about different options. And you get to pick the options that work for you.